How y'all doing? My name is Atu Williams. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a mastered credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor. And I just want to talk to y'all real briefly tonight. I'm gonna be brief. I understand that there's a large population of people that think that therapy is not for them, that they're not crazy, they don't need therapy. Times are changing, more people are realizing the benefits of engaging in therapy, but there's still a large population of people who feel like it's not for them. So I figured, every once in a while when I got something on my mind, I'll come on here and talk to y'all real briefly, just to give you something to think about. So today I want to talk to you real quick about the relationship between black children and the police that police our communities, and how we may unconsciously contribute to the negative attitudes that they have towards the police. Now, this is a theory that I've had for quite some time, and it's even more exaggerated nowadays because of social media. So I just recently saw another video on social media of the police beating up some guy. I don't know where it was at. I remember we see it over and over again, from back in the days to now, from civil rights movement to now. We see police beating, killing black people, unarmed black people, over and over. We try to keep these things out of the sight of our children, but they see them, especially nowadays. Now, I saw them when I was a kid, and we didn't have social media, but they were on TV. They showing pictures of the civil rights movement. Rodney King happened in the 90s, things like that, and we see them. They're all over the news. You can't help but see them. But nowadays, they're on TikTok, they're on IG, they're on Facebook, they're on everything. Your kids see them. No matter how much you try to limit them, no matter how many parental controls you put on them, they see them. And what we don't take into consideration, on top of the fact that they see them, is they hear us. They hear us talking about them with our spouses, with our friends, with our brothers, with our sisters, with everyone. They hear us discussing these things. And it's not that we shouldn't discuss them. We have to discuss them. When you see a white officer put his knee on an unarmed black man's neck and hold it there continuously until that man is no longer breathing, you have to talk about it with somebody. I mean, even if you're not black, you have to discuss this. You just watched a man get murdered on social media or on the evening news. You have to talk about it. So they overhear these things, even when you think they're not listening or you think they can't hear. They hear you talking about these people, and they hear you talking about the things that happen to people and how it's unfair and how it's cruel and how they're killing us. And these things stick in their head, in their psyche. And then they go out in the streets and they get together with their friends who are also seeing these images and hearing these talks from their parents, from their uncles, from their brothers, from their aunts. And so then now they reinforce it in each other. So that the first time the police approach them, they're automatically on the defensive. And the negative attitude is almost unavoidable. Now, I personally try not to share videos like that unless it's absolutely necessary and I'm trying to make a point in something that I'm saying. But watching these things over and over again is not good for nobody. You re-traumatize people over and over and over again. And a lot of times we're not even considering the families of these people that were victimized, how they feel about having to see the shit every time they open their phone up or turn on their TV or what have you. But we send our kids out here with these negative attitudes, and what do we think is going to happen to them? When the police come and they just stop because for whatever reason, they automatically think, oh, these guys are out to get me. And those attitudes spill over because they're on the defensive and they're on their fuck the world shit, and it spills over and they do other, and then they treat other people, maybe not even the police. Like I saw a video earlier today of some elderly people in the Bronx complaining about some teenagers assaulting them. It was unbelievable. I didn't understand it, but I do understand it. I understand how all these things come together in totality and spill out into the streets, in our children, and result in these things and result in our children hurting people and getting hurt. And so we have to be more conscious of things like that. So like I said, I was just real brief tonight, little food for thought, something for y'all to think about. I'll be back on here occasionally and share things with y'all, man. Y'all have a good night.